What's up? It's me, Haley Jones, and I am back at Farragut High School with the amazing Amanda Edsol. I think I asked you the same question last time. You're a doctor, right?
Yes.
Doctor. Excuse me. Doctor. She is the 865 Academies coach at Farragut High School. She is one of the OG implementers of 865 Academies in Knox County because so I guess that was 2021 was the first year? 21, 22?
I think so, yeah.
Because, and I just realized, I thought we were 3 years in. We're 4 years into 865 Academies, which means the freshmen that started are now seniors. So we're about to have a full cohort.
Yes, our first graduating class, 2026.
How does that feel? Are you like, oh my God, we did it? Or is it like, oh?
I have really enjoyed watching the seniors grow and have some of these experiences and then have them give us some really good feedback on, what went well and what didn't go well.
Yeah.
They've been good sports.
So for those of us who are like old school KCS graduates like myself, wait, where are you from?
Knox County.
I mean, but did you graduate from Knox County School?
Yeah.
Where'd you graduate from?
Carnes High School.
Okay, wait.
Go
Maybe
Beavers.
I knew this. No. I went to West. Thank you very much. Okay, so we had our senior year, you could leave school early and go to a job or whatever. Mm-hmm. So what's the comparison when it comes to your senior year? Is that comparable to what's happening now with 865 Academies? What's the difference, also academically? Because, no shade, when I was a senior, but I went and actually I worked at the maternity store on Kingston Pike, which no longer exists. But anyways, I was a high school kid selling maternity clothes. That's what I did for my work or whatever. So I think right now what you have going on is a little bit different than that.
Sure.
So for those of us that are okay, what is this? How does it work? What's happening?
Yeah, that's a great question because this is the first senior class that we have.
Yeah.
We have had sort of what you're talking about, a work-based learning experience in the past where students can leave campus. They have to work at least 135 hours during a semester, which is the amount of seat time they would have for a class for it to count.
Yeah.
It can be paid, it can be unpaid, that kind of thing, an internship. What we have done, hopefully, what we're trying to do is provide more of those opportunities for more students. Mm-hmm. There are several requirements. They have to have good attendance. They have to have a certain grade point average. But they also have to have 2 classes that are in a career pathway. And a lot of students...
And that's their senior year?
Yes, in order to do work-based learning.
Got it, okay.
They can do that their junior year too if they qualify. Yeah. But a lot of times they didn't have that. But with the 865 Academies, they're taking 2, 3, sometimes 4 levels of classes, and so they automatically qualify. At the same time, we have partnered with a lot of great people, and people are developing programs where they are reaching out to more students to do work outside of school and internships. So it's really broadening those opportunities for students as well.
That's cool. So let's back up for just 1 second because I dove right in. But when we talk about 865 Academy, so what exactly does that mean from a freshman to sophomore to junior to senior year? What happens in that trajectory?
Sure. So you come into high school as a freshman and you
cry. Just kidding.
Sometimes.
Freshmen are fun.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Freshmen are fun. And we have what's called a freshman academy. We call it Anchor Academy here at Farragut because it anchors them into the rest of their high school.
And they're
career.
the Admirals?
Yeah, we are the Admirals. So it's very thematic. But they do high school. They take all their core classes, those types of things. But they have a wing in our school that is dedicated to those classes. So they spend about half of their day there. Mm-hmm. And then they also kind of travel. Our campus is very big. Mm-hmm. So because Farragut is so big, one thing about having academies is it takes a really big school and it makes it a little bit smaller geographically, so students just feel a little bit more comfortable getting acclimated. Then they also take a class called Freshman Seminar, and we have 3 incredible freshman seminar teachers, and they do such a variety of things there. They start off by learning school, what is school, what's a GPA, why are my classes 4 in the fall and 4 in the spring, all those things. Right. And then they do a lot of self-exploration. They take a career aptitude test to sort of see, what do they have a propensity for? And then they learn all about our pathways and then careers that are available. You know, if they say, well, I want to be in the medical field, then in freshman seminar they push into that more. Well, like, you want to be a nurse, what kind of nurse do you want to be? You know, what kind of school does that require? What salary are you hoping to make? And then through those courses we also bring in guest speakers from all kinds of different industries so they can hear from them. It's really a lot of exploration and exposure.
Yeah.
They also take a field trip to a place of business, and it may be something they're interested in, it may not be. It's, again, exposure. What does it look like to run a business? What kind of jobs are at a business? We often find after students go on trips like that, they think, well, I never thought marketing was a part of a construction company, for example.
Yeah.
So it really opens their eyes. So that's freshman year. Yeah, and then at the end of their freshman year, or toward the end, they pick a pathway that they think they're most interested in learning more about.
Yeah.
So we have 16 pathways here at Farragut that they can pick from. They go from accounting to construction, veterinary science, there's all kinds. And then that places them in...
16.
Yeah.
16. Just want to highlight that. It's like 4 overarching, right? And then 4 in each of the whatever. Okay.
We have 4 academies. So
Yeah.
Academy of Business, the Academy of Agriculture, Construction, and Leadership, the Academy of Health and Human Services, and the Academy of STEM and Design. And then we have some smaller stuff in there.
Within those, 16. I just want to point that out to you.
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like when this first started, it was like, and maybe this is from my outside perception of like how things were perceived, is like, this is gonna pigeonhole my child.
Sure.
And I think like with 16, it's all about exploration, right? So it's like 16 options is a lot of options for one, but for 2, it's like they're being exposed.
Well, and we've learned a lot too about, we may not, a great example is we don't have a pre-law pathway at Farragut, but we do have a lot of students interested in that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are very interested in like a certain type of law, for example, business law or
NIL.
Family. NIL. Yeah, that's a hot topic. Family studies.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And so we do have pathways that align with those things.
Yeah.
And so, and then as they get older, there are opportunities for them to explore more specifically what they're interested in.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
their sophomore year, they go on a college visit to an institution in our region. They learn a little bit more.
Is that y'all take them? Like Farragut High School takes them, or?
Yeah, I mean every high school does it with their sophomores.
Okay.
The district coordinates those trips because that's a huge lift.
Right.
You know, all the different post-secondary institutions that, I mean, it's magical to see happen because there's so much faculty and so many student ambassadors that help support those trips.
That's cool.
So that's cool. Sometimes it's their first time on a college campus.
Right.
So that is a really neat opportunity for them. And then as juniors, they job shadow somebody. At Farragut specifically, we really try to encourage them to find their own person to job shadow because it can be as specific as they want. So a great example is I have a student in the Academy of Business who wants to be a lawyer. And so she submitted a proposal to go job shadow at a law office. And so she was able to do that. And she's actually done it on her own like 5 or 6 times since then.
Wow, that's cool.
So,
very cool.
It's super cool.
And then senior year is when they kind of dive into the work base.
Yep, their work-based learning, internship. There are a whole lot of capstone opportunities. Youth Leadership Knoxville, internships at ORNL that are a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Students that get accepted into governor's school or complete an AP research project. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, like, year 4 in, what are things that you thought, like, this is going to be so hard, but actually wasn't, versus things that you're like, oh, that's fine, and then it turned out to be, like, much bigger of a thing to, like, coordinate or do?
Sure. I think the biggest kind of shift or hardest thing to manage is just the amount of students that we have.
Yes.
And then each of those things I just mentioned, we call them student guaranteed experiences. So it's not just like I'm taking 1 or 2 field trips in the freshman year. Like I'm taking 520 freshmen to a place of business. So like trying to find people who want to hang out with freshmen and do all of that, which we have some great partners that have done some fantastic trips for us. But then, I mean, then you just repeat that with all those experiences.
Yeah.
So, and then the biggest challenge I think has been the job shadow. I thought we would have more students have an easier time securing a job shadow than they did, and that was a little bit more difficult. So
Is that just because like they're afraid to ask, or they don't know who to ask?
Sure.
Or like, what is it?
I think it's a variety of things.
Yeah.
We have some students who are very socially shy and
Yeah.
they don't know what to do or who to ask. And then I think it's just those kind of things take a little bit of preparation. And so if you don't have time management and you're like, oh, I have to job shadow. October 3rd is our job shadow day this year. And if I don't ask someone in advance and then secure that.
I don't ask them before October 1.
Right. So, but we still did. We had over 200 students job shadow.
Well, that's
last
great.
Year. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 200 more than the year before, since that was the first class. And the feedback that they left after, I mean, some of them were like, this has changed my career trajectory, or I never want to do that job. I'm so glad I saw it. And I'm like, that's great. Like, I'm so glad you didn't go to college for that.
Oh my God. Seriously. Yeah.
So my favorite part of all of it has just been the students' reactions when they start to take a little bit of ownership over those experiences, and then they realize the impact it has on them, and just hearing, you know, whatever revelation they've had.
Yeah. Are there like some pathways that are more popular than others?
We definitely have some that are full, but what makes it hard is like our Academy of Business, for example. I mean, business interrelates so much. So we have business management, accounting, marketing, and then supply chain.
Yeah.
Well, if you're running a business, you know something about all of those things.
Yeah.
And so often students will choose business management first because they're like, oh, I want to manage a business. But then after they take our introduction to business class, they find that they really have a love for accounting, for example. And so they do.
I did not find that about myself.
No. No numbers.
Nope.
We have a construction pathway that typically has a waiting list. We also have an engineering pathway, so students tend to like one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So part of the like 865 Academies, like if you go to their website or whatever for Knox County, it's about like kids being ready essentially for life after high school, whether that's like into college, into some sort of field or whatever. So how would you say, like, you know, in terms of like hitting that goal, where is Knox County, or, you know, just Farragut in general, like what does that look like? Do you feel like that's realistic? Do you feel like we're on the right path? You know what I mean?
Sure. I definitely think as a district we are heading in the right direction. We are seeing, you know, more students attending some kind of post-secondary.
Yeah.
I mean, when you and I were in high school, I feel like the only thing we heard was four-year college.
Yeah.
You have to go to a four-year college.
Yes.
And that's just not true.
Yeah.
To be successful, there are so many job opportunities for students that don't require, you know, 4 or 8 years of school to do, or at least not right away.
Right.
And so just helping students explore, not that you don't need to go to college, but you need to know what you need to do.
Right.
And so, and I think that is the biggest thing. I think that we are definitely on the right path for that, just more opportunities for the exploration of, well, you know, okay, I want to go to college. Well, where do you want to go? Well, I want to go to UT because it's close. But you want to do, you know, engineering. Right. They have a great engineering school, but so does Tennessee Tech, for example.
Or like marine biology.
Right. UT may not be the place for that, right?
Come on. Unless you're going to look at catfish in the river.
So I think just opening the conversation more. And then we have what's called a portrait of a graduate. And when we talk about students being prepared for life after high school, that looks different for every student. But the things that look the same are like, we want them to be a lifelong learner, a contributing community member, like an effective communicator, a creative problem solver. So like, are students leaving our school with those attributes? And if so, I think that they will be successful. Yeah.
Well, I think it also goes back to exposure. I think a lot of times, like, public school gets a bad rap for, like, it's just about testing and this and that. And there is a lot of that goes on. And this is me speaking. I'm not speaking for Knox County or anyone that works for Knox County. I'm just saying, I think there's, like, a lot of that perception. So when students have a framework by which to, like, ask someone if they could shadow, to have a framework for, like, this is what that would look like if you job shadowed. Like, this is how you would learn in that process. This is what a college campus is like. Like, all those frameworks don't just happen by chance.
Right.
Like, 865 Academies allow that to happen. So I think that's one of the really cool things, that this is like, yes, it's based in academics. You can go look at the pathways and like where the classes fit in, but it's also based on the exposure of the experience, I think. You know what I mean? Okay, this is like off topic, but I'm just curious. How, if at all, I feel like the hot topic right now is everything AI.
Okay.
And not even necessarily related to like 865 Academies, unless you're like, this is totally affecting us. But is AI affecting like what's happening in school?
100%.
Okay, so tell me, like, because in my mind, I think there's like a use of AI when it comes to learning, like to foster learning versus like I didn't have to do any thinking. So AI for this is helping me to learn versus like what is the answer? Like those are two different uses, right? So I guess in my mind I'm thinking it's like encouraging, students like how to use this to learn and make you better versus like make you stupid. So that's
yes.
That's like how I think about it. So I'm just curious, like when it comes to high school, like in AI and how all that works, like what impact has it had? Is it having, like, how do you address that?
Sure. I think it's a constant conversation. Actually, just left a meeting where we were talking about that in our English classrooms.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of misuse of AI.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, I mean, it's purposeful, but also, like, wouldn't you use it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
if it's going to help you out, I
Right.
guess. And so
Totally, yeah.
our conversations are just that. Like,
Right.
how do we utilize the AI tools that we have at our fingertips, which are more than I even know myself.
God.
And
there's a new one every day.
I mean, truly.
Literally.
But, like, teach students
right.
to use that to their benefit. I mean, you just think, is this the same conversation? And I mean, I can't put a year on this, but imagine when the scientific calculator came out.
Oh,
like, you would be
right.
like, oh my gosh, that scientific
Right.
calculator
What
is ruining the classroom, you know?
Right.
And now we don't
right.
do school
It's a
without
tool.
them.
Right.
Give them, yeah. So again, I mean, truly, I could bring this back to 865
Right.
Academies, because if we're thinking of those attributes of the portrait of a graduate, like how to be a creative problem solver,
Right.
things like that, I mean, that is so crucial to anything that has to do with AI. Like, don't let this machine think for you, but let this machine or this program propel your thinking into this new realm of whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. I was just curious because I'm just thinking, like, I feel like everything's so rapidly changing.
Yes.
That it's like, not necessarily how do you stay on top of it, but how do you, like, what is the right philosophy, I guess, if that makes sense.
I think our biggest thing too is just how is it going to impact school in the future and careers and things. It's really, we have those conversations a lot with industry professionals that come in
Right.
And guest speak or serve on advisory boards for us, because if we are teaching something in our animal science course or our engineering 2 course, like, we want to teach the most up-to-date information that we can. So how is the industry changing and impacting what students need to know before they leave high school?
Yeah. Okay, back on 865 Academies. Like, if you're a parent with a kid coming to Farragut in the future, like, what should you know about 865 Academies?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and we talked about this in our last interview that we did, I guess it's been 3-4 years ago, is that 865 Academies, while it has restructured some of what we do at the high school level, it is, at the end of the day, it does not impact a student's kind of well-rounded education, I guess, would be the myth that we're trying to bust, is because of 865 Academies, my kid, like you said before, is pigeonholed in this and they can't take anything else. And now that we are in our first class of graduating seniors, we see that that's absolutely not true. Students have access, even if they might be, in our accounting pathway, they may have a love for animals and they took agri-science.
Yeah.
Or we have several students who are interested in the health sciences, so they pick a pathway like nursing or therapeutics, but they also take classes from our dietetics class and our human and social sciences pathway, and they have that chance to explore. And so I just would want parents to know, like, yes, we're asking your student to choose something to focus on and give them a little bit of extra support and guidance in that area, but the possibilities are endless here to do and study and learn and we're still learning as we go, and so that's really fun.
Right.
Just to see the students sort of drive some of the changes and make sure that we're supporting them, because they'll come to me and say, I really want to job shadow at a place like this. Can you help me find that? Or I would love to do an internship somewhere, but I have not found anywhere. Are you able to help me find something like that?
Yeah.
And so we are trying to get better every day at providing those realistic, real world experiences for kids.
Yeah. So if you are a parent and you're like, what is this? Like, just do it. You can always reach out. You can send an email. You can do your research. Everyone wants to support you, and they want to support your child. So don't freak out, is what I'm saying. Okay, if I'm a business owner that wants to be involved with 865 Academies, like, what should I do? Where should I go? What do you need? Is it like we only need these things? What should you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. We need you.
We need you.
We need you. No, there are 14 high schools in this school district that have this. All of kind of your standard high schools are fully implemented with career academies now. So there is always a need. It shifts a little bit school to school, but I think the biggest thing is just what we need are businesses, large, small, that have a passion for connecting with students, and I am certain that there is a place for you at the table, right? And we always have opportunities for people to be guest speakers. I know sometimes people's time is limited, and so they're like, well, I can't host 30 students at my place of business, or, like, for example, you travel all over doing your real estate business, and so that would be really difficult, but you could come talk to students about establishing a business. So that's a thing. But if you do think that hosting students at your place of business is doable, that's always a need. The job shadowing, like, we have so many students that need a place to go, and so I think it's really cool to have a student be able to connect with a mentor and just learn a little bit about that. But then just people who are really interested in, okay, how can I invest in the next generation and really ensure as well that my industry is represented, and also just I am partnering with a school to make sure that what's going on is as up to date as possible, I guess.
So, like, job shadowing, is that a one-time commitment? Like, what does that involve from a business?
Yeah, I always, when I connect with business partners, I kind of lay out those options again, and guest speaking is usually the easiest, so if people are hesitant, I'm like, why don't you come guest speak to a class and just see how it feels. High schoolers can be scary, right? So we love them so much, and I have never had a partner come in and guest speak and then not fall in love with our students. They are fantastic. They want to learn. They want to connect. So then, it's as much as just, hey, I'd love to host, a student, 5 students, whatever, for a job shadow. And then we have frameworks for all of that too. So like if a business,
so it's not like she's gonna be like, here they are,
here's a kid,
right?
Do it. I am so happy to support that in as much or as little as possible. So I have those conversations like, do you want an agenda? Do you have some ideas? We kind of talk through that, and then I always follow back up. And just like, was that a good experience? Was it not a good experience for some reason? And then either we continue down that road or maybe we don't.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. So where should they go if they're a business and they want to be involved? What should they do?
Sure. I think if you're welcome to reach out to me, Amanda.Edsol at knoxschools.org can have,
and it'll be in the description.
Haley put that somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be in the description.
And even if it's not for Farragut, we work so well together. I'd be happy to connect you with any school, any pathway. But also just go into our Knox County Schools website. There's a whole Academies section. It gives you every email to every school, and it explains it a little bit more as well. So if you wanted just some more generic information beforehand, that's a great place to go.
Yeah, I think I would like to be involved or support, then just start the conversation. That's not like you committing yourself to anything, but also don't feel like, well, I don't know if I'm very good with high school students or whatever. Like, that's not the point. Like, it's about just like providing a place for exposure, and you as a business person have the opportunity for them. And that's the important part, right? So that's your unsolicited advice that you did not ask. Okay, anything I haven't asked you that you're like, we gotta cover this?
I don't think so. I think just being 4 years into 865 Academies, I would be amiss to not say just that this is an incredible opportunity
Yeah.
for students. I mean, you've served students in a variety of ways throughout, and
Yeah.
I think there is something really special when you can take the tireless work of a core content teacher like math, English, social studies, and all that they invest, and then you wrap it around with like career courses.
Right.
And then you, on top of that, layer opportunities that are real life, real world with industries, and you watch kids see the connections immediately. It makes high school feel so much more important to them.
Right.
Like, we as adults know the importance of
Right.
a good education
Right.
and all of those things, but often that realization doesn't happen in that teenage brain.
Right.
And so it has been just magical to see that happen with our students at such a young age.
Yeah.
And so if that is something that you are passionate about learning more about as a parent or a business owner or anyone, like, I love having that conversation.
Yes.
Because I have watched kids' conversations change completely in such a great way.
Right.
And I love it so much.
Well, and the answer is not like school's not doing it right or blah blah blah. The answer is like if you have an opportunity that you could provide something awesome for students, like that's where we need you to step up. Because I feel like there's a lot of like negativity about what's happening in public schools, which whatever. But what my point is, like, it's the answer is not like, well, I'm a business owner and like school didn't help me and blah blah blah. It's like, no, that's not the answer. The answer is like you have information to provide and help students. So provide that opportunity is what I'm getting at, is because like myself as a math teacher, like, I mean, I was like on the standard. What's the standard, you know? So when you're saying like layering the academic piece to this, to that, it's like it does take a village and it takes people with all kinds of like ideas and thoughts. So I just want to say that to y'all. So 4 years, A65 Academies.
That's right.
Did you ever think you'd get here?
It has been a journey, but I'm stoked. Like, I'm excited to see, you know, the next chapter and just make everything better.
Awesome.
It is awesome.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amanda. You're amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye.